Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today here on Teslanomics Live. I'm your host Ben Sullins, and this is the show where we break down the biggest Tesla news from the week past. We do it live because things change quickly, and we do have a Q&A section at the end, which if you want to be a part of that, you need to get on our email list. You can do that at teslanomics.co/join. And from there, what we'll do is we'll run through these articles. I'll put a link to the time of each story at the end because this does run a bit long if you're watching this after the fact. And then I will join everyone on Crowdcast for the Q&A at the very end. So first off, just thanks for joining me. It's happy Monday to you all. We have some big stuff to talk about here with Tesla. Let's just jump right into it. And the first thing to talk about are the vehicle production numbers from Tesla. So the vehicle production numbers they just announced from the previous quarter were a bit up and down. I'll say there's good and bad here. So in short, they had nearly 30,000 vehicles delivered in Q4, 29,870 to be exact, which is a record-breaking quarter for them. It is plus 27% year over year. So for the same Q4 of 2016, this was 27% greater than that. The breakdown looks like 15,000 Model S, 13,000 Model X, and 1,500 Model 3s. That is a low number, and a big reason why a lot of people, you're seeing a lot of kind of the bears come out and really just kind of rake them over the coals for this. So yeah, this is the big story really out of this, is that yes, they delivered a lot of cars, so as a company goes, they're doing great, but the Model 3 didn't deliver nearly as much as they had hoped again. And so as a result, they actually produced almost 2,500 in Q4. They produced 2,425. In the last week, the final days of the quarter, they produced 793 Model 3s, which is a pretty good number for a single week. And they said now, essentially, so this is the first week in January, that they should be looking at about 1,000 per week. So that changes some of their guidance going forward. Notably, that they think by the end of Q1, they'll get to 2,500 instead of the 5,000 that they had previously stated. Now, recall, they wanted to get to 5,000 by the end of 2017, push that back to the end of Q1, and now they're pushing the 5,000 back to the end of Q2. So just more delays here, but we are seeing really good signs. I mean, even if they're only pushing out 1,000 now, that's still a lot of cars. And so I think what we're going to see is that delivery ramp come up, and it's gonna really be a big year for them in terms of the Model 3. Now, I won't divulge my estimates for the Model 3 production for this year yet, because I will be publishing a video later in the week on that. So stay tuned. And if you're new here, just consider subscribing, even if just to stay for that video, because I think I really put a lot of time into the statistical model behind the S-curve and how exactly using these data points they can or cannot get there and what that means. I think it's really interesting because prior to this, we had just basically a lot of speculation, right? Even Elon, when he spits out a number, it's speculation. It's not real fact. Now we have some real facts to go off, and this is when the models and the statistics really start to show their value. And so stay tuned for that, because I've done a lot of research on this, and I'll be posting that later in the week. In short, I think it's going to be a good year for Tesla. I think the Model 3 is going to be a hit. Obviously, people love it. You don't really see anyone dogging it. And from there, the goodwill and really the kind of trough of delusionment that we're falling into now with all the negative media, you're gonna see it to start to come back up once you get 10, 50,000 of these out on the roads. And so it's happening, and I think it's going to be a great year for Tesla. So we'll see. Of course, they're going to announce new, crazier, bigger things in as well. But the Model 3 is late, but it is coming. And in fact, I should be posting a lot of Model 3 videos very soon. So if you're into that kind of thing, make sure to subscribe and let everyone else know. Now, the next thing I want to talk about was the Tesla trip planning tool. And in fact, let me switch that out. The Tesla trip planning tool they released is a new thing that you can use to see what it would be like. So if you have a 75 kilowatt battery Model S, or you know what, let's just go with the Model 3. And let's say you want to go from San Diego, where I live, to Phoenix, where I typically go. you can see that they have their own trip planning tool. And while this does look nice, I really think the designers did a great job. The problem is it doesn't, it's not as detailed, nearly as detailed as the EV trip planner, which many of us that have Teslas and electric cars have been using for a long, long time now. So this is cool. But it's, you know what this is good for? This is good if you don't have a Tesla and you're curious. If you own a Tesla, you may not own the exact models that they have listed here, which means this doesn't work for you. So yeah. Now the other thing is that of course in your car it'll automatically do this for you. So there's that. But if you wanted to, like me and my wife often do, plan out your trip in advance, this doesn't work for us because we have a 60 kilowatt hour battery, not any of these other ones. This does work for a Model 3 once we get it. But anyways, this is here. I think it's cool if you want to check this out and you don't have a Tesla, or if you do have one of these models, of course, this is a good tool. But I still prefer EV Trip Planner, and I'll have links to all this stuff in the description after the video posts. Next, I want to talk a little bit about Elon's tweet here, where he said, we're going to put an old school drive-in roller skates and rock restaurant at one of the new Tesla supercharger locations near LA. And so that kind of begs the question, where might this be? And all that, and you can go look at the Tesla website and see what the planned ones are. I don't really think it's worth speculating or caring too much about that, but I just love that they're doing this and kind of making road tripping a thing that is fun to do. I just posted a road trip video last week, if you guys didn't see that, that me, my wife, and my son took to Arizona, and we had a lot of fun. You know, it's one of those things where it's surprising. It's if you just need to get there, then yeah, it's going to take probably a bit longer, but there are some other added benefits. So for us, for example, we don't have to pay for supercharging. And in fact, if you are looking to buy an S or an X, you can use my referral code now. They opened it up again to get free supercharging as well. So, I mean, you literally could drive from San Diego to Boston if you wanted to without spending a dime on fuel. And that's a big deal. For people that drive a lot, that is a major deal. It's a major cost saving. So make sure if you or anyone you know is looking to do that, you use our code here and take advantage of that, because it's only currently listed until the end of this month. So time's ticking on that. But this is cool. I'm excited about it. Maybe we'll go do a fun meetup there once it opens. Maybe Elon will join us. Who knows? Next, I want to talk about the Roadster. And a lot of you guys probably know me as the guy that won the free Roadster, and that's awesome. Thanks for joining me. Franz here, my buddy now, is the guy that designed it. He's designed all their cars since the Model S. Of course, did an amazing job. Posted this tweet not too long ago. 10,000 likes, over 1,100 retweets. And then later, we saw this happen where he was broken down. Now, the question is what happened, and these photos come to us from Electrek, where you have these little skate things here, and the skates were, excuse me, the skates were trying to use it to move the car off, and they had a couple, I guess, follow cars and stuff like that. So, yeah, you don't know what's going on here. Franz on the phone, apparently, trying to call somebody to figure it out. And they did say, and let me just double check the article here. This is from Electrek. Tesla says that the car didn't break down. It was able to drive off on its own, but it's still kind of unclear. And apparently it was long enough there for some folks to take some photos. So, yeah, hey, it's a prototype. That's kind of what happens, and that's what you expect. So the big story, though, over this past week was the new warranty for the Model 3. So the headline is that they released the Model 3 warranty for the battery. Now, the battery will basically just degrade, right? That's kind of what happens to them. And the 70% mark is where they are saying that they would replace it. Now, the challenge is that they're only guaranteeing it for up to 100,000 miles for the standard and 120,000 miles for the long range. So, yeah, that's a concern for a lot of people, and I understand. Now, something to take in mind is that GM with the Bolt has a similar thing, but it's even worse. So these kind of batteries are standard, or I'm sorry, these battery warranties are standard here. But the real thing to think about, though, is whether or not this matters. Mel from Talking Tesla did a good video on this, and he showed off some different stats, and one of them was the thing that I made here. And this, when you're looking at, is battery degradation analysis from real-world data. So the weird and difficult thing about predicting these things, let me see if I can make this full screen for you. I don't know if I can do that. Yeah, there you go. The thing about these is that this data comes from people that have been uploading to a Google spreadsheet over a few years now. And on this this link here, and I'm going to update this with the latest data, you can see that basically charge cycles are the thing that have the biggest impact on it. But really what we're looking at, I mean, they're talking 70% degradation. So that's somewhere down in here, right, in between 60 and 80. And you can see this data that is, we're talking almost 5 years old. And is almost, let's see, mileage in miles, upwards of 222,000 miles, still retaining 93% of the original range. So, and these are older cars. These are S and X cars that have older battery technology than the Model 3. So, and if you want kilometers, because I know some of you folks living places where that's the thing, you can see, look, almost 360,000 kilometers with 93% of the battery remaining. So a 7% degradation. And we're looking, so anyways, point being, I think as Mel pointed out, I think the warranty is just a CYA type of thing where it's not meant it's not an indication of how the battery will actually perform. It's more just in case it does that they will fix it. And the surprising thing again is that this is newer battery tech that is objectively better than these older cars. And this is the real world data, which I kind of like better. Now, some people have commented, and I've talked to folks about this, where they say, oh, well, you need to really test this in a lab and do those kind of things. And yes, I agree. That would be, a control group versus like a randomized test. Beautiful. I would love to do that. We don't have that. There haven't been any studies that I've seen with that kind of thing done for a Tesla battery or an electric vehicle battery with this specific technology. So this is as good as it gets, and it encompasses a varying amount of climates and regions in the world, charging habits, all these kind of things. So this is real world data. So I would argue that with enough, the whole kind of big data thing, with enough observations, as we would say, we will find the truth here. We will find the signal and the noise, and that's what you can kind of see with this trend line that I have here, and you can kind of see all the values of that there. So, anyways, the new warranty is 100,000 miles, 70% for the standard battery, and 120,000 miles for the long-range battery. I don't think it matters, though, because I think you're going to see far better performance in that, especially because of the new battery tech. So I'd love to know what you think. If you're watching this after the fact, hit me up with a comment down below, and we'll have a conversation about it. I'm really curious. Next, we have a video that my friend Austin Evans posted with him and Jake Roper about the Model 3. They go for a nice drive here. This is up, I think it's called Angel's Pass or something like that. And really cool. This is Jake's car. I'm sure he's going to be posting a lot of fun videos. If you don't know Jake Roper, he is on Vsauce 3, and he's part of the Beam News team, which is with Casey Neistat and those guys. I think he also has his own channel. But anyways, this is a cool video. I highly recommend you go check it out. I actually haven't seen the whole thing because I was driving and I just listened to it. But yeah, these guys do a good job, and I think they kind of tell a good story. Jake's impressions of the car, because he's a former Model S owner, are particularly insightful. So there you have it, guys. That's the biggest news of the week. I just wanted to break down those kind of top things. Now I'm going to jump over to Crowdcast into the Q&A, and we will get right to it. So remember, if you want to be a part of Crowdcast and be a part of this, you need to get on our email list at teslanomics.co. So make sure to go do that. It doesn't cost you anything. You can unsubscribe anytime, whatever. Totally up to you. Alrighty. Now, if you're in Crowdcast and you're watching this, I'm going to take my little pregnant pause drink of water and have you guys go vote and comment on things. You can see that's happening right now. And I'll just double check. It looks like everything's still good on the YouTubes and the Twitters. We got all the Twitters. All right, here we go. First question from Reed. Ben, those of us in the queue for the Model 3 would really like to know our current anticipated delivery window. Original estimate was November 16th to January 18th. Now it says January 18th to March of 18. In your opinion, what will it really be? Well, Reed, this is the billion-dollar question. If Tesla even knew that, they would probably, be able to predict things a lot better. The challenge is, and as you'll see later this week when I post my video on the Model 3 delivery ramp and what I've calculated, it's all over the board. So having a strong confidence interval to predict exactly when is a challenge. I would say that their estimate is as good as any. I've gotten a lot of questions actually recently about updating my own delivery estimator, which I built a while ago. I don't think I'm going to do that just simply because these guys already have one, and honestly, they're going to be a better source of truth than I am because they even have the actual numbers, right? I only have the publicly stated numbers. So previous to this, it was fun because we could kind of speculate based on everything and really plug in some numbers and make some guesses. Now that they have real numbers, I would say that they know far more detailed information than we do, and so they're going to be able to provide a better estimate. So stick with what they have. January to March is still not bad. That's pretty soon. I know mine was, I think, till November to January, and I should be getting mine very, very soon. So stay tuned for those videos. And if you do get yours, there is on Model 3 Owners Club and I think Model3Tracker.info, a place where you can go punch that in. I haven't been there in a while, but that would be really helpful if everybody that got one put it in so we could actually track and see how far it's going. I'm sure those guys have been have been looking at this stuff for a while now. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And thanks for the question, Reed. Les asks, when do you think non-Tesla owners will start to receive their configuration emails? Ooh, that's a good question. I have to say it's probably pretty soon because this ramp, if you look at the numbers that they're predicting and even what they've actually already done, I think that they're going to be making thousands and thousands of these soon. So after the Tesla owners get theirs, it would be the California people or West Coast people first. So you should be, depending on where you live, that would kind of be... That would be the next factor into playing into when you would get it. So I would again check that Model 3 delivery estimator, which if you just go to tesla.com/Model 3 or click on the Model 3 menu and scroll down, there's a big giant button there to check it out. So check that out. I know mine again was November to January, and I got mine mid or late December. So plan somewhere in there. I don't expect them to delay it again since they've already delayed it twice. And so we'll see. But yeah, maybe just go kind of follow up on that. Thanks for the question, Les. Jim asks, I have heard that the summon feature is not yet available for the Model 3. I am particularly interested in this since I have a narrow garage and plan to use summon to back in my Model 3 into the garage. Can you give us an update? Well, you know as much as I do. That's not surprising at all. I mean, they just added the FM radio like a couple weeks ago. I don't think the browser exists yet. There's a lot of features that are it's still very much in beta in terms of the software in the vehicle. So, I would not be surprised, but it definitely should be coming, especially if you get the enhanced autopilot features. So, so stay tuned for that. And of course, once I get mine and kind of run through all those videos, I'll share that with you exactly where it's at. Thanks for the question, Jim. Gary asks, it's been interesting to see reports on how our recent cold weather has impacted Model 3's range. Do you have any stats on temp/range? I do. There's a video that I think is titled something exactly like to that effect of how weather affects your battery range or something like that. And there is an app, if you're a Model S owner. I actually just reinstalled it because I got a new phone yet again. It's called Teslab. Let me just see if I can pull it up. And so Teslab with a Z is an app that lets you track some of the stuff about your car. And it's also kind of a social network thing. And there's also some functionality like you can unlock your car and do things like that. But yeah, I don't know if you can see any of that there, but on Teslab, you can actually track this stuff. And there's even a thing called phantom drain. So you can see how much of your car is being drained. Yeah, here you go. So this is a nice way to look at it. I don't know if that shows up well there. But anyway, so I've been working with these guys. I'm kind of their data science advisor on how to work with the data, because they have tens of thousands of people that use the app, and they're collecting tons of detailed information. And one of the big stories is how temperature affects range. So go check that video out. I don't have this new Model 3 stuff. We haven't looked at it in a while, but I'm guessing that the trend is pretty similar, and it's pretty surprising how much it affects it. Thanks for the question, Gary. Tom asks, any thoughts on Tesla jumping 6% today? No, I don't pay attention to the stock market one bit, other than the overall indices. And I certainly don't speculate on individual stocks. I don't own any individual stock either. Just to be clear, I don't know if some people get upset if like I'm promoting Tesla stuff and talking about how much I love them and all this. It's from a pure product consumer standpoint. I stand nothing really to gain by their stock jumping up and down, other than what a normal consumer would. So yeah, no real comments on it. Maybe Elon tweeted a photo of something. Who knows? And really, it's all short-term thinking in the markets anyways. I really, yeah. Anyways, I'm much more into cryptocurrencies. Let's see. Matt from Michigan asks, I plan on having 2 sets of tires for my Model 3, 18 winter tires and 19 summer tires. Cool. I live in Michigan, where we currently do not have a Tesla showroom service centers, right, because it's one of the states where it's outlawed. Will I have to drive to a different state to have Tesla update the Model 3 so the cars know which of size tires I have? No. Actually, I think they do need to update something in the software when you change them. And I only say that because when I got my arachnids, they were talking about that. But no, you shouldn't have to. You should be able to call the customer service and have them do it. You also should be able to get the car delivered to you in your state. The way this works, because I have a friend, or I have several friends in Utah that have them, is that you can't technically buy it in the state. You can go to a showroom and have a look at one, but it's purely information, and then you can go online and purchase, and then they can deliver. So yeah, it's something weird like that. But no, you should be able to do that. You either don't need to do anything, or you should be able to do it just by calling in. And yeah, stay tuned for more on that, because I'm sure a lot of people have questions like that. And that's not a bad plan. Thanks for the question, Matt. Mel asks, Ben, do we know yet for sure how Tesla was able to drastically increase the range on the new Roadster? Ooh, could they have stacked battery packs and layers? Yeah, no, we don't know for sure. I've seen a lot of people throw that out there about stacking the packs. I really can't say. The only comment I have on the whole thing about the Roadster having such a long range is that people, for whatever reason, were reporting that it was a very small vehicle. Now, if you recall the original Tesla Roadster, which was based on the Lotus Elise, and basically the exact same car, I mean, a little bit different, but the same chassis and body, basically. That is a tiny car. That thing is small. This one is still smaller than than say a Model S, of course, but it is a lot bigger than the original one. So I don't think it's that shocking, but there clearly is some sort of breakthrough there that we don't know. I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully, we can have something like the solid state batteries. There's a few, these glass batteries and all these different. There's so many different things right now. It's a real big question about how to source them and the supply chain and all those kind of things. But absolutely, I'm going to be staying on top of this, because it's going to be pretty incredible, whatever it is. And I assume that tech will be coming to all the new models by the time that those come out. In fact, what may happen is some of those models, some of those breakthroughs may show up in something like the Model Y or something else that gets delivered before. And then that way, for the semi-truck specifically, it's totally ironed out. So we'll see. But yeah, nothing official yet. Thanks for the question, Mel. Thanks for joining. Tom asked, do you know when you can pick up your Model 3? Are you excited? Yes, I'm excited. I don't know an exact date yet, but very soon. I was hoping to get it this week so I could go out to Vegas to meet up with my friends at CES. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I am emailing them every single day, letting them know that I'm ready when they are. Plus, I have a fun story about how I purchased it, so stay tuned. I literally have a giant list of videos to do with my Model 3 once I get it. So yeah, a lot more coming soon. Thanks, Tom. Zach asked, longtime viewer, first time crowdcast. Hey, welcome. So I've been looking around. I know you're not a CFA, but for a long-term loan, I am not seeing anything better than 2.49%. Yep. Since I am going to own this car long-term and the interest rates are low, I remember you saying that wasn't a bad deal. Yeah, 4 to 5% on 72. Okay, yeah. So I'll just give you the short answer. So you need a shorter term. I use a San Diego County Credit Union. They're not a sponsor or anything like that. They're my bank. And with them, my first car I got on a 3-year term, 36 months that is. I got a 1.5%, and then with this one, I got a 2.19% for 42 months. And the reason I do that is because I have the money to just buy it, but I would rather keep that money in something like an index fund, which will appreciate at a higher percent than the interest is. In that case, I'm making money on the deal. So that's kind of where I've leaned, and that's why I don't care too much about the higher monthly payment. Because yeah, I think my monthly payment will be upwards of $900+, but the reason is because I'm paying it off quicker, and the reason I'm doing that is so I can get an even lower rate. Yeah, so I got approved at 2.19%. So it's out there, but you just got to look for different terms and different, and it depends, of course, on your credit situation and all those kind of things. So, yeah, thanks for the question, and of course, stay tuned because I will be posting like very detailed about how I did that and how I kind of am paying for it. Dennis asks, thank you for all the top-notch info. You're welcome. My question, do you know if I can change my reservation for the Model 3 sometime in 2018 for first production Model Y? Ooh, I doubt it. I'm hoping that the Y will come with the tow package and a roof rack and all-wheel drive. Thank you for all your hard work. Yeah, you're welcome, Dennis. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me here. I don't think you can. No, I don't imagine that. The Model Y, officially hasn't been unveiled. I think we just have a teaser image, and we kind of have speculation and tweets and things like that. I think it's fun to speculate and talk about this stuff. And then, of course, once it comes out, I'll be covering all of that detail. But I don't assume that you can do that. Now, with the Model 3, I believe there is a spot for a roof rack. I don't think that there was a tow package, though. But I believe you can get it on the Model S for sure, and the Model X, absolutely. So, yeah, there are other options out there. But sure, certainly the Model Y, well, we assume we'll have it. So, yeah, thanks for the question, Dennis, and thanks for your support. Pierre, Ben, both of my friends and I are one-day reservation holders in Florida. He is a Tesla owner and I am not. He has received his configuration email and I have not. Another Tesla owner friend has reservations for 2. Do you know the rationale? And yeah, so okay, so it's based on this. Tesla owners first, West Coast first, and then from West Coast to East Coast. So yeah, it'll probably be a little while being on the East Coast, being a non-Tesla owner. Is there a 30-day delivery promise firm or an estimate? Yeah, they make no promises about the delivery date once you configure. They give you, that's why it's an estimate. They contact you and work with you to figure that out, but yeah, nothing firm until you're really there, honestly. Yeah, thanks for the question, and thanks for watching. Rich asks, when will Tesla release information on leasing a Model 3? 2020? 2021? That's my best guess, if at all. I don't think they'll do it for a few years at least. Yeah. Thanks for the question, Rich. Brian asks, when do you think I can play around on Tesla.com with the Model 3 configurator, even if I don't have a reservation? Brian, you do not have to wait. I am here for you. Go to teslanomics.co/Model 3 Cost 2. I'll put a link in the description, or in fact, let me just comment it on here real quick for you. So it's https teslanomics.co Model 3 Cost 2. So that right there will take you, in fact, I think I can pull it up. Let's see. Yep. That'll take you to a page here where you can then play with it, and it, even has a car. You can look at the different options, and this, my estimator goes pretty in depth, right? So if you go through it, I'll show you the options I chose. Destination dock fee. This is actually 1,000. Tax rate. Oh gosh, I think it's like 8.25 in California. I don't know. Anyways, so you go through here. You can punch in your loan information, charging. How do you charge? How much do you drive? Et cetera, et cetera. Enter options. You click see results, and then at the bottom it tells you exactly how much everything cost. So I got you, man. Go check it out. There's no catch to it or anything like that. Just I built it to help people figure that out. And literally I haven't checked in a while, but within the first 2 weeks, I think we had almost 100,000 people use that. So go check it out. Yeah, and let me know what you think. Brian asks, when do you think used Model 3s will hit the market? Maybe 4 or 5 years. Actually, I mean, they're out there already, but they're, triple the price. Maybe 4 or 5 years. Yeah. Well equipped around 20,000, maybe 7 years, I would say. Yeah, so maybe 2025 or something like that. Ronnie asks, hey, Ben, we took delivery on our Model S this past weekend. Congratulations. What things, accessories did you get for your Model S? Any must-have things you recommend? Just use your code to get a solar Powerwall. Woohoo! Congrats. I appreciate all your help and plan to see you at the Model 3 meetup. Perfect. Yeah, thanks, Ronnie. And yeah, make sure to find me there and say hello. What accessories did I get? The only, so I just did this. I don't know if you guys saw, what is it? Instagram.com/unplugged performance. So I just did a refresh on my Model S right here, and you can see that this is really the only thing I've done, and this is the new front fascia. So what I did there is, I just, I'm sorry, you guys aren't seeing it on Crowdcast, huh? So anyways, I'll put a link if you go to Instagram.com/unplugged performance, or if you look at my community section of my YouTube channel, you can see I got a new front fascia. That was the only thing I've really done. I also had a center console added, but then I ended up getting rid of that because my wife just needed more room down there. So yeah, other than that, not a lot. Go to my friends over at evnx.com have a lot of great things, and if you let them know that I referred you, you may get a discount or something. So there you have it. Thanks for the question, Ronnie, and yeah, I'll see you there at the Model 3 meetup. Lance asks, my first production estimate is December to February. However, standard range estimate shows early 2018. I take this as maybe March, too optimistic. Yeah. West Coast non-owner, I would go with summer. I would go maybe June, July, something like that for a standard, because they're going to have a lot of the long-range ones to get through before they start offering that. Thanks for the question, Lance. Joe asks, I haven't seen yet how you were able to quickly lock the Model 3 doors if you jumped inside at night. There should be a button on the screen that you can lock the doors. That's how it is in mine, and yeah, I often do that as well. Hop in and just hit the button. Otherwise, somebody could just open your handle. Yeah, there you go. Thanks for the question, Joe. Last question. Most recent Tesla financing was 1.49%. Yep, that was for the Model S and X, not for the Model 3, unfortunately. Okay, guys, I thank you, everyone, for joining me on YouTube, on Facebook, everywhere else. If you have any additional questions or anything, do not hesitate to hit me up on Twitter. I'm at Teslanomics.co. Make sure to subscribe here. I have a lot of videos coming out about the Model 3 and a lot of other things. And lastly, don't forget, when you free the data, your mind will follow. Thanks for watching.